Yo, yo. Y'all already know we late night with it. And we stay right with it. Now, welcome to another episode of that deep shit. When we go late night on a Friday from the quarantine. What's happening? What's up with all my people out there? Huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? 7 viewers in the building. Live chat is on. Let me know y'all there. Holler at me. I'll holler back. If you holler at me, I'll yell back. If you holler at me, I'll scream back. Indeed. So we ain't gonna waste no time. Because we ain't got time to waste. We might sip on something. I'm feeling like sipping on something. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like sipping on something. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Can y'all hear me all right? Am I coming in clear? I got my mood lighting on. We setting the mood. Georgia. Young Link. Yo. Dime is dope. Dime is dope. Sounds like Dime is live. See, look, here they go. Look, I swear to God, this don't ever pop up until I go live. Adobe remind me, don't pop up until I go live. That's crazy. Sun Gazing Lotus, I love that handle. That's fire. So look, man, we're gonna talk about the Kali Yuga, the Golden Age, and the Divine Feminine. And there's a couple of reasons why this session is going to be labeled that title. A couple of things inspired that title actually. Actually, this is a title in a video that I wanted to do maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And we got people checking in from Canada, British Columbia. I like that. All right, Dame K, he's checking in from Augusta, Georgia. Huh? How's the quarantine out there? All right, so without any further ado, I just want to share some things with you, and it's all going to make sense. You know what I'm saying? When I finish up. So today, I decided to get out of the house and get some physical activity and jog, you know. So I went jogging, and there's a big shopping center that's near my apartment. And as I was jogging, I recently moved over here, and I've driven to the shopping center, but actually jogging in the physical form on foot was a little bit different experience, especially with, most of the stores and eateries being shut down. This is a really huge shopping center, and I'm just taking in everything, and I'm seeing most of the stuff it's closed signs, closed, because there's a lot of eateries there, closed, and people wearing masks. And I'm jogging, and I'm thinking to myself, I am living through history. They will be writing about this. And I see the Goodwill's closed. Sorry, we're closed. And I'm jogging, and people are looking at me like, wow, he's jogging. Look at him. Yeah, I was jogging through a park, through a shopping center, like this, jogging, and I'm seeing where I used to take my clothes to the cleaners. That's closed. All the little barber colleges, that's closed. The barber shop closed. And I go past a check cashing place. There are some eateries that are open. There's a 99-cent store. There's a halal place that's open. There's a Thai place that's open. Um, but there's a check cashing place, and what was really polarizing to me was the lady came out of the check cashing place. She was obviously an employee there. She had on mask, face shield, gloves to the elbows, and she was wiping off the door handle. You know what I'm saying? This is like 5:30 ish. You know what I'm saying? And it was just so polarizing to me because it's like these are the times that we're living in. It will never go back to being the same again. And that feeling was very overwhelming for me. It was like I was running through a documentary. Like I felt like I was looking at a documentary. You know what I mean? How people were just adapting this new way of life. And it was polarizing. And as I seen the lady who was wiping off the door handle to the check cashing place, I was it made me reminisce on when I was younger, when I was like in the second grade, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a whole bunch of stories, but it'll make sense. When I was in the second grade, I may have shared this before, but for those who probably haven't heard this, where was I wearing a mask when I went out? Nah, I wasn't wearing a mask. Nah, because I wasn't going to be near anybody. So, you know, but yeah, the barbershops being closed is a tragedy. Look at my hairline. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm struggling. Yeah, you know. That's why I got this hood on. Trying to do this shit myself, but that's what I'm saying. You know, we're living in a whole different time. So I'm trying to get my taper correct. You know, it's okay. My taper is all right. You know, but yes, it is a tragedy. But so it reminded me is when I was young. I was like in, I don't know, first, second grade, something like that, and they brought in some dental guy to teach the children how to brush their teeth properly. So it was about brushing, flossing, rinsing type things. And you know, he had all the kids say, "Okay, kids, this is how you brush. You put the toothpaste on, and you brush your front, and then you go to the side, and then you get your bottom. Don't forget the back, kids." Right? After you brush, what do? You rinse. What do? Rinse. Ah, rinse. Gargle. Okay, so how do you gargle? Ah. Okay. Now what do? You rinse. You spit. Now when you spit, now can the cavities stay on your teeth after you spit them out? This is where all the kids participated in the answer, right? So when he said, can the cavities stay in your mouth when you spit the rinse out? All the kids said, no. I'm the only kid that said, yeah. Because in my mind, I seen things on the quantum level anyways, already. You know what I'm saying? There's no way in the world you could spit out some mouthwash and you get everything out. So in my head, you would always leave some type of remnant of something, so it's possible to get a cavity. I should have known then that I had a different way of thinking. I already was thinking quantumly as a child. But I continue to think like that. That's why I'm here. But the reason why I shared that is because now the rest of the world is catching up to the way that I think, the way that I've always thought. Germs, bacteria, they're like fingerprints. They're every fucking where. So, Welcome to my world. So, we're gonna jump into the Kali Yuga really quick, but before we do, I want to keep it really basic. We need to go back to the basics. This is why this video is called the Kali Yuga, with so much conspiracy theory, misinformation, and not only misinformation, just ego. There's a lot of ego that's on YouTube, especially when it comes to people who learn or are students or slash student teachers or master teachers. Okay, we got Katie White from Kiati White from Minnesota checking in. Amber H from New Mexico. Hey, how you doing? Yes, Jai made it for you. I can see the changes to come for sure. But something that I'm seeing on YouTube right now that's very disturbing, where people are chiming in and claiming to have all of the answers. That is impossible. Anyone who is claiming to have all of the answers, run. Even though they may be correct, that doesn't mean that's the entire truth. That's their perspective and their notes of their experiments that they've gathered, and we all need that. So this right here is an official invitation slash cry out to all YouTubers who dwell in this knowledge community or this conscious quote unquote community. We need to collaborate and discuss our ideas, not debate. I could be right, you could be right. If we put both of our rights together, we see a little bigger picture of the puzzle. Stop trying to debunk everyone. Also, stop thinking that you have all the answers. One YouTuber said, you won't have to watch another video about the COVID-19 after this. What? This is all ego. This is everybody laying in their ego instead of reaching out to other teachers or students or student teachers, whatever. Instead of reaching out to one another and saying, look, man, this is what I came up with. Look, this, it's a little different from your information. Let's put it together and see. Let's look at it from a different angle. You know what I'm saying? Let me sharpen your steel as you can sharpen my steel. We don't see that. What's very ironic about not seeing that is that if you take educational institutions worldwide, usually to get a degree. Now, I know it's educational systems. We don't believe in that. Everybody is so against the system. It's like, dude, stop for a second. Even Western education, Eastern education, it all has a place. Yes, it's not 100% accurate. We get that. But there are things that scientists have done that are real. So not everything scientists say are false. Like, stop. That's the ego. I digress. But back to the YouTube teachers. Something that we can learn from traditional education is something that that is obtained when you're getting a degree. It's called, you have to write a dissertation and a thesis. Why are dissertations and theses needed? It's because you're writing a paper for your degree or your grade, but you have to write something that no one has written before. You see what I'm saying? And all dissertations and theses go into this log. So there's this log of newfound information and ideas that become things to study, that will become what we call science or truth or fact or whatever. But it's all because of students coming together to get their degree. And then when you're doing your dissertation, you will probably study other people. That's what we need, especially in a time like this, where there's nothing but confusion. I digress. What I'm about to do is freestyle shit. Usually, if you order a study session, it'll be something along these lines to where I never know what you're going to say when you order a study session. If we discuss something, I'll give you my input on it, just like what I discussed, my thesis and dissertation on the subject. You may or may not have one. And if I don't have anything to say, we'll figure it out right then and there on the spot. And that's what we're going to do. Because like I said, we need to keep it simple and go back to basics. So 5G is causing the virus. It's a conspiracy. We're at war. It's World War III. We don't know. Let's figure it out. But what we do know is things happen spiritually first, and then they trickle down on the physical plane. So with that being said, we're going to jump into the Kali Yuga and probably get some answers out of this thing. All right, let's go. All right, so what is the Kali Yuga? All right, before I get into what is the Kali Yuga, the definition via Google, I'll just tell you what I do know. The Kali is a Hindu god from the Hindu pantheon who is feminine in some aspects, most aspects, but she is divine chaos. She will destroy and murder just to build. Okay? So that is Kali. Now, when you say Yuga is like a cycle or a time period. So when you put these together, you get Kali Yuga, or Kali Yuga. So in the Hindu pantheon, this is a certain time frame, so kind of like the Mayan calendar. There's a different calendar that the Hindus kind of go by. So let's take a look and see what they're talking about. Okay, so it says here in Hinduism, Kali Yuga is the last of the 4 stages. So there's 4 yugas the world goes through as part of a cycle described in Sanskrit scriptures. Now, this is where, hold on, let me try to find an image of it real quick. Here we go. Okay. So this right here, see that? This is the Yuga wheel. So there's a golden age, there's a silver age, there's a bronze age, and an iron age. These ages are connected to certain yugas. So after the Kali Yuga, there will be... Hold on, let me get a list of the yugas. Hold on. There's the enlightened age, that's the Satya age. There's the mental age, there's the energy age, and there's the dark age. The dark age is connected to the Kali of the yugas. Let's see, what age are we in? Let's see, are we living? Let's see, when is Kali Yuga? Oh. Now I've studied this before, and there's a roundabout kind of estimated times. So if you're going to research this on your own, which I do heavily recommend, just know you're going to find answers that may not match. So what your job is to do is to kind of guesstimate, because there is no real exact time. Remember, we have no clue what time it is. You don't know what time it is, nigga. You don't know, nigga. You don't know what time it is, nigga. So we don't really know what time it is. We're given calendars that are based off of celestial positioning by suns and moons to kind of have a somewhat of an idea, but we really don't know. So just like with 2012, 2012 was a 2012-ish thing. Some say in some calendars that this year is the real 2012, but that's a whole nother side note. So let's go. Which Yuga is running now? Current Yuga, 5,118 years, is to be completed. 5,119th year is running AD 2016. Previous Yuga was the Dwarpa Yuga, completed on midnight of the 17th century, or midnight of the 17th of February, I'm sorry, BCE. Okay. Let's see, let's go to images. I want to look at the Yuga wheel one more time. Okay, so I'm going to type in what Yuga is after Kali. We'll go to all. The Sata Yuga. The Sata Yuga. See? Now this is what I'm saying. So it says that the Sata Yuga is after Kali Yuga. What it's saying here, the Sata Yuga is the golden age, right? So let's go back. Let's go back. Let's see what this says. Just to reconfirm. One total cycle, 2,400 or 24,000 years, yes, divided into 12,000 year cycles. For example, descending and ascending cycles. The Sata Yuga is descending Kali Yuga after ascending Kali Yuga to descending Sata Yuga. So again, it's saying that the Sata Yuga comes after the Kali. Now let's see what will happen in Kali Yuga. When the evil of the descendants of the Kali Yuga reaches its zenith, Vishnu will have an incarnation, an avatar. Avatar, y'all see that? As the Kali, the horse rider, to kill the evil people and restore Dharma on earth, commencing a new Sata Yuga. Sata Yuga, golden age. Okay. Here's another map or cycle map. Maybe this isn't the Kali Yuga after all. Sata Yuga. Oh, I see what it's saying. I see what it's saying. So there's a descending and then there's an ascending. So it's saying that it goes golden, silver, bronze, iron. Where versus golden, silver, bronze, iron, bronze, iron, bronze. Got you. Okay. So we should be, let's see. Let's go out of this. Let's go to this. And then let's go to when does Kali Yuga end? Now there's some conflicting dates on here, but I did my own calculation of something and it lined up, and I'll go into that lining up in a minute. But right now we're just gonna go and see what these people on the World Wide Web say. They bitch ass. With they bitch ass. So anyways, so this says using a 300 year, 10% of the length of a particular Yuga period for transitions, Kali Yuga has either ended recently in the past one. See how they don't really know? Has ended recently in the past 100 years to 200 years, or is to end soon sometime in the next 100 years. That's a big ass fucking I don't know. Fuck out of here. Okay. This is Graham Hancock. Now, He says, like many others, that the Kali Yuga will end in 2025, unraveling the mysteries of the Yuga cycle. Now, before we get into that, let's get into this real quick. I was going through a lot of my paperwork because I was trying to find some shit. And as you can see, this is all ripped up shit, okay? And it's ripped up because I had some notes and I didn't know what it was and I tore it up. But you see, this is on some envelope. That's what I do. I'll jot down notes. You know, if I get a download or something, I'll jot down some notes and to do a video on. And like I said, this is like 3 years old. See, it's taped up. I don't know if the light is catching that, but it's taped up. I wrote it on the envelope. It's held together by some tape. This is called, ironically enough, I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't see that. The Devine Feminine. And the reason why if I can remember correctly, the reason why I named it the Devine Feminine 2.5 years ago is because I was noticing a very prominent uprising in femininity and how they were pushing a lot of female stuff to the forefront, you know, and it was very evident. But it made me calculate some certain markers that we've had in time, and I'll just go over some of these notes with you right now. So in 1979, the U.S. cuts ties with Afghanistan, funding money into Afghanistan. Now, if this happened in 1979, this is a precursor to a major event that we will call Desert Storm, or eventually becoming the events that happened after 9/11. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is in 1979. All right, 11 years later. So I'll start looking at 11-year cycles. 11 years later, the first web page hits the World Wide Web. Also, the Berlin Wall comes down. These are major events causing shifts in consciousness. 11 years, 1990. Okay. 11 years after 1990, the World Trade Center attacks. We have 9/11. 11 years. Okay. 11 years. 11 years after 2001, we have the so-called end of times or end of shift event of 2012. Okay. 11 years. Okay. All right. The Mayan calendar ended, and around this time we start to see the divine feminine in the age of Aquarius and the shift. This is where we start seeing Beyonce at the Super Bowls making these hidden statements. This is where we start seeing a lot more women being put in roles and on television and movies, being the hero. We're seeing movies like Wonder Woman getting greenlit. We're seeing a lot of things that we never seen before. We're seeing the age of the divine feminine. Shortly after that, I started to look at those small little details of the years and not going as far as the 11-year theory. Shortly after that, we start to see things like Donald Trump grab him by the pussy, him running for president, him being pretty much the poster boy of male chauvinistic pigs, him getting elected. This is the beginning to tear down "it's a man's world" theme. Now, me just looking at this 2.5 years later, I want to make adjustments to this list now, because now I'm having the hindsight of 2020 to look at, damn, okay, so Donald Trump being elected, therefore it's starting to destroy the patriarch. Then you have the Me Too movement. Again, further destroying the patriarch. Now I have to start thinking, this must be divine shit. I think God coming back, she's just taking her time, like Pac said. Stop playing. All right. 2012. We have. Then I put in 2020. I'm going to show you the proof that I wrote this. In 2020, I have AI integration. I predicted that, not even predicted, but just looking at the scale of AI and where it was going, I'm seeing AI integration. We're almost there. Okay? The algorithms are strong, bruh. Stop playing. You plan too much. I also put in 2023, there will be a tilt, a possible war. So that's 11 years from 2012. If we look at where we're going, we're either in a war right now or we're ramping up. So the tilt, when I wrote tilt, I remember I just like, it's going to be a shift. We're in that shift right now. I didn't have the foresight to see what will happen in, 2020. I couldn't never predict anything like this. But I knew something. And, but what really got me or caught my eyes is that I wrote tilt, possibly a war. And then I put in 2025, the Kali Yuga ends. And this is where I found the Graham Hancock article of saying how the unraveling of the cycle of time. Let's read it. Let's see when this article was written. This article was written July 15th, 2012. Okay? 2012. Let's get it. This says, Part 1, the unraveling of the cycle of time. The Yuga cycle doctrine tells us that we are now living in the Kali Yuga, the age of darkness, when moral virtue and mental capabilities reach their lowest point. I.e., motherfuckers licking the toilet. Lowest point in the cycle. The Indian epic, the Mahabharata, describes the Kali Yuga as the period when the world soul is black in hue. Only 1/4 of virtue remains, which slowly dwindles to zero at the end of the Kali Yuga. Men turn to wickedness, disease, lethargy, anger, natural calamities, anguish, and fear of scarcity to dominate. Is that not what we're seeing right now? Stop playing fucking games. Penance, sacrifices, and religious observances fall into disuse. All creatures denigrate. Change passes over all things without exceptions. I don't want to read this whole article. I'm not. But he shares the exact same date that I came up with. You can read this article if you like. There are more like it. And I highly recommend you guys taking a look. It's pretty interesting, to say the least. And like I said, we need to, dial it back a little bit and don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because we're so skeptical of mainstream science and our governments that we just think that everything is a lie, which most of it is. We think that, everything has to be the weirdest example of what shit is. and it probably could be. But stay out of the ego and be led by divinity. That's my higher self talking to you. Let's check in with the people and see what they're talking about. Cali is the dark age. Facts. Deuce TV. Facts. That's how long Egypt ruled. Is that right? We should check that out. Future past, here now, just breathing is the most important thing. Facts. J Love chimed in with that one. Kiati. I think your name is Kiati. Kiati White. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, bro. Oh, pronounce it. Okay, my bad. I've cried coming home after going to the grocery store. I am not scared, but very sad for the human family. For the same way. All right, I love to see people in the chat, familiar faces and familiar names, man. That makes me feel like we're just sitting in our living rooms together, man, and trying to figure this thing out. And like I said, if you guys have anything to add in, please feel free, because I'm probably not going to be doing too many more lives. I'm not going to say that. I don't really know. But there's some things kind of going on. To be expected. We're living in very unprecedented times. So, who do you think the woman is during the ayahuasca trip? I never had an ayahuasca trip, and I'm pretty sure it could be who you think it is. Shalom, shalom. Monica, the child of the Most High. All right. I was going to go into a conspiracy theory about the virus, 5G, and the connection to chemtrails. I haven't solidified that theory. I don't know if you guys want to take the time to do that. That might be kind of lengthy, because it's going to be some research on my part. So basically, when I be going live, I'm just pretty much bringing y'all into what I do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the end of what I do. So after I get a channel, or after I have an observation and a channel, or a channel and an observation, I then go to fact check to see if I'm crazy, which 9 times out of 10 I'm not, or to see what else or what other ways I can kind of connect the dots on the information that I got downloaded. So this is what I do. So yeah, I don't know. Do y'all want to go into that? Y'all want to go into that? I got time today, cuz. We got time today. I don't know what that was. I was trying to type something else. Y'all be watching Westworld? I'm gonna keep it G real, cuz.
I don't fuck with you, cuz you disrespecting me. You disrespecting my hood by telling me take off my flag, asking how gangster I was, nigga. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz. I told you I ain't got time for that, but nigga, today I got time, cuz.
It don't matter, pistol gang, bitch. Right. You got your cousin right there?
But nigga, you came up on me on some fun shit, nigga. I don't make peace with niggas that come up on me on some disrespectful shit when I didn't even know you, nigga. You walked up on me and set down your beer like, nigga, what's up? How gangster are you, cuz?
Huh?
How gangster are you, nigga? I'll show you how gangster I am, nigga. You can drop off your kid and run my fade.
You ain't hearing it.
Exactly, nigga.
Savage squad.
I go hard, cuz you don't want to fuck with me.
Oh shit. No shit. That shit never gets old. It can't. It's impossible for that to get old.
Cause I'm gonna keep it G real.
I'm gonna keep it G
I don't
real.
fuck with you cause you disrespecting me. You disrespect my hood by telling me take off my flag, asking how gangster I was, nigga. You lucky on that day I was acting cool, cuz.
But
I told you I ain't got time for that, but nigga, today
I
I
got
got time, cuz.
Oh shit. And shout out to Outside Beats, man. You know what I'm saying? Outside Beats is the dude that made the beat for the intro, man. He got super heat, super fire, man. Check him out on YouTube, man. Type that in your search bar. Get with him. You dig? All right. So, let's take a look. All right.
Let's check on today's weather now. And Tony, something strange going on in the skies of southern Queensland in the past day.
Good afternoon, Katrina. Yes, we've started seeing some mysterious echoes appearing on the radar. Now, they started late yesterday afternoon over the Darling Downs with trails of blue sweeping across the southeast during the evening and overnight before it all dissipated early this morning. So, what is it? Well, it's not weather-related. Skies were clear last night and there was no rain recorded anywhere. Now, one theory is that it's a thing called chaff, small metal or plastic fibres released into the air to help shield military aircraft from radar detection during exercises. No one has confirmed that, but these streams here are consistent with something being released in the upper atmosphere over the downs, then being swept across the southeast by strong winds.
Now, the reason why I bring that up is because you have to take this will make me come to this conclusion. I looked at worldwide events that happen across the globe. What do we see? That was Australia, chemtrails. So chemtrails happen all over the globe. So that means it's not one country, it's not one state, it's not one hemisphere. That means it's something global. That means somebody is doing something around the world. Okay? Chemtrails. Another thing that's around the world is 5G. Okay. Chemtrails, 5G. Okay. All right. So, and then another thing is the virus. So the virus is around the world, chemtrails is around the world, and 5G is so-called supposed to be worldwide. Now, according to this guy here with his funny mug, chemtrails are chaff. Not the first time I've heard that. Okay.
Last weather segment. This is inevitably military or something going on. The government, the Air Force, they send out what's known as chaff, and it's a way to experiment with the radar systems. And when you see this kind of a pattern like this, you can rest assured there's something going on. They're actually little bitty magnetic and little bitty strips of, whether it's aluminum, you know, they change it, but what happens is the radar deflects off of all these little pieces, and they use it actually as a jamming mechanism for radar warfare, but it can also...
There we go. See, so what did he say? See, he looked like an OG that drink heavy at night and on the weekends. So I believe him. He's probably drunk doing the weather, and he said some shit that he wasn't supposed to. That's what I'm thinking. But that's just me. So he said it's magnetic metallic particles, which I've heard before, right? That jams radar or enhances radar. And the reason why he would know is because he deals with radars, because he fucks with the weather. Something else to take in consideration. HARP. We'll touch on that in a minute. But let's figure this thing out together, shall we? Let's go. All right. So let's look up chaff and see what good old Google says. Oh, chaff is just a generic word. Okay. It's just a generic word, just pieces of shit. Interesting. So there's nothing that actually ties radar chaff. Here we go. Okay, let's type in radar chaff. Radar chaff. Let's go. Originally called Widow by the British and Duple of the Second World War era Germany, Luftwaffe is radar countermeasures in which aircraft, probably goes on to say, gets their radars jammed by radar chaff is countermeasured. Chaff for military plane, blah, 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 blah. ABCnews.com. Chaff military plane likely caused a mysterious blip in weather radar. Yeah, right. So, it is real, okay? So it's real. Okay, cool. Let's see. Magnetic. Let's see. Electro. What do you say? Let's just say magnetism. Magnetism. Oops. And atmosphere. Let's see. In the atmosphere, the pushback against gravity comes from air pressure, not magnetism. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's see. You might still be a bacterium, magnetism, atmospheric pressure in the state of Earth's magnetism. Ah, I like that. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Atmospheric pressure in the state of Earth's magnetism. That's a light article. I'm just skimming. There's no information there. All right. How vital is this field? Possible magnetism theory. Magnetism. Magnetic in the atmosphere. Let's do magnets and HARP. The ultimate weapon of conspiracy. HARP. Let's see, how does HARP work? Let's see. How does HARP work? HARP performs the same functions but with more power and more flexible and agile high-frequency beam. Some of the main capabilities of HARP include generating very low frequency radio waves. Here we go. Radio waves by modulated heating of the auroral electrojet, useful because generating VLF waves ordinarily require gigantic antennas. I see. Okay. Radio waves. Doesn't that sound familiar? Just like with the radar. The radio waves in the radar. It would even make sense if the chemtrails give HARP more capability. But why is there metallic bits in chaff? Magnetic bits at that. Let's see how 5G works. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. And shout out to African Spiritual Science. Let me hold on. Let me jump around real quick. I don't know if that's the dude's channel. Ugh, I damn near need to sign in, but I don't want y'all all in my business like that. Not at all. Not at all. Damn, I can't even make a new fucking window tab. Damn it. Anyways, I'll get the dude's YouTube channel, but shout out to him. He did a video late last night talking about how there's a lot of misinformation about 5G, and how 5G simply just means 5th generation of the same network that's already been in place. So 5G isn't something that we haven't been exposed to already. It's just a ramped up version of it, like they just turned it up, but it's always been here. So 5G itself is probably not getting us sick. It could be 5G with something else, and with something else that may be a cause of it. But we're going to dive into that in a minute. But I don't believe it's 5G itself. All right. 5G work. How 5G works. Like other cellular networks, like 4G, 5G network uses a system of cell sites that divide their territory into sectors that send encoded data, radio waves. There's that word radio waves again, kind of going back to the chaff, right? Same thing. Radio waves, chaff, radio waves. Each cell site must be connected to a network or backbone, whether through a wired or wireless backhaul connection. Okay. See, we're seeing something common here. We're seeing radio waves. That's a common thing that is kind of tying everything together. Huh. Capabilities include very low, fuel. I'm sorry, I was just reading here. So HART works by radio waves. 5G works by radio waves. Chemtrails disrupt radio waves. You see the connection here? Chemtrails disrupt radio waves, or reflect them is probably more accurate. So there's a connection. 5G, chemtrails, and HARP. Okay. And just like how I mentioned earlier, how we as student teachers on YouTube need to collaborate and with each other. So, a gentleman by the name of KT. Work it, KT. Pause. KT did a phenomenal job of going in and dismantling and bringing forth a lot of information about the 5G and what kind of frequency that it rides on. So I'm going to piggyback off of some of his information. I have no problem with being humble and giving it up to a master teacher, if not master student teacher, but a master nonetheless. So, according to KT's findings, is that that 5G works on the same frequency as air. I'm not sure about that. I haven't researched that myself. We could do that now. But he also mentions that 5G capability can also when it's online fully, that we'll be able to just say things, and whatever nearest computation device connected to the mother net or the internet, as you would call it, will pick it up and just process whatever we're saying. So basically, he said you will be able to walk outside of our. Matter of fact, I found the clip of the guy he got that from. It was a white guy that said that. So I found that clip. Like I said, we're all learning from the same sources. So I found that clip, KT, just so you know. Anyways, so he says that, you know, we'll be able to just walk outside of our house, say Uber, and Uber will come. We don't need a device. We don't need a cell phone. We don't need none of that. That's how intrinsic that the 5G network will be. Okay. So this is where I'm going to start connecting all of these dots. We had tensions between, before I get to that, if they can control the weather with HARP and radio waves, and we just found out by a little bit of digging that 5G works off radio waves, if they can control the weather with HARP, and if chemtrails also reflect these radio waves, and they've been chemtrailing us for years, probably 15 years strong by this point, close to strong, probably longer than that, but 15 years they've been getting down. I noticed chemtrails around 2009, and that's when I noticed them. So if they, and by this time our whole atmosphere probably has this metallic thing in it. We're probably walking through metals right now, and this is probably what gives the grid of a 5G that makes it even possible. The chemtrails must be what makes the grid of 5G possible. Has to. But my point is, if they can control the weather through the atmosphere of chemtrail and radio, what else can they control if we're breathing this chemtrail atmospheric air or pollution or whatever you want to call it, metallics? And if 5G can be controlled by just saying it, can you administer a virus by just programming it, just like how you program the weather? Possible. This is where my theory is going. Now, if you're still with me. Okay, so if that's the case, then it would make sense why, let's see, I'm trying to find the name of the company. I don't know how to spell Huawei. There we go. Huay. Huawei. A year ago. So this is too long of an article. I'm trying to find a short video on it. I can't find a short one. This is a year ago. So a year ago, the U.S. was battling.
We live in.
The U.S. was battling or in opposition to Huawei launching their 5G, and they called, I spoke about this before, and they called it a threat to national security. And it didn't make any sense, right? Why would it be a threat if they're just launching 5G? Everybody's launching 5G. Why is it just because they doing it a threat, right?
Huawei has filed a lawsuit against the United States, claiming that a federal ban imposed on its products is unconstitutional. The Chinese telecom giant is hoping to get the ban lifted, arguing that it affects its ability to compete fairly on the American market. The U.S. authorities accuse Huawei of trying to bypass international sanctions on Iran and have requested the extradition of its CFO from Canada. Huawei has also been accused of industrial espionage after allegedly trying to steal trade secrets from its competitor T-Mobile. Washington also claims the tech giant has engaged in espionage on behalf of Beijing. A ban on the Chinese telecom company was imposed last year, barring federal agencies from purchasing or using Huawei products. Evangelist Sipsas picks up the story.
Well, it seems...
Sorry, you didn't pick up shit. I'm cutting you off. So, my whole point is the U.S. had a ban a year ago, at least. And that's when I picked up on it. I didn't understand what it was. So, if that's the case, and if China has major technology or major leaps and major advancements in their 5G capabilities, it could be a threat if all we have to do is walk outside and say Uber. So just imagine what will happen if we can actually program things that are inside of this 5G field. You could probably program illness. It's all in your lungs anyway. You're breathing it in. Turn it on. Just like how you turn on fucking HARP. Because remember, HARP can be pinpointed. It can be directed. Remember the hurricanes? Remember Hurricane Katrina, all that shit? Remember all that shit? We forget. You know what I'm saying? How soon do we forget all the shit that we used to rah-rah about? You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if they can pinpoint HARP, we could pinpoint anything and turn it on and fuck up people's lungs and shit. You know what I'm saying? You know? Or vice versa. We could be in the middle of a biochem. It may not even be chemicals. You know what I'm saying? It may not even be, you know what I'm saying, a real germ warfare. It may just really be some other shit that we don't quite understand. We don't understand. And whatever they're telling us, it's not that. And whatever we can think it is, it ain't that either. This is just my piece of the pie that I'm putting on the conspiracy table. Now, conspiracy don't mean nothing bad. I'm just putting my piece of the pie out there. You know, I've noticed people have been watching my channel, running with my info. That's okay. Like I said, I have no ego. And these are big channels. People with 67,000, 80,000, you know what I'm saying? 100-something thousand subscribers. It's just us. It's just us here tonight. You know what I'm saying? So apparently, you know, the big dogs watch. It's all good because I watch y'all too. You know, I like y'all content. So, just a theory. I want to put that out there. Thank you for allowing me to take the time to do that. You know, I usually do that by myself, but thanks for hanging out. Let's see what the people say. All right. Tycoon B, my guy. Corona is one side of the coin. I agree. The other is those celebs going to court. Don't agree. Saturn is in Capricorn. For real. Death to careers or social image. That's probably why this virus got us out of work too, but not me. Yeah, they told me to go back Monday, but they don't really understand what's finna happen. They don't know who they fucking with. I don't play. Okay. So, kind of piggybacking off of Tycoon B, I find it amusing and disturbing that people are in denial about what's going on, my employer included, which is very disturbing. We're not even going to go there. But I go on Instagram I see people, you know, just cognitive dissonance. You know what I'm saying? And it's okay. I get it because most people are afraid. I'm afraid to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? But not to the extent to where I'm not living in a world of reality. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I'm seeing all this fuckery. I seen a female post some old clips of when she was at the club on Instagram, and that shit had me cracking the fuck up. I don't know if I said that, but that shit is hilarious. You know, people are finding everything to do other than go inside and find themselves, and this is the point of all this. This is the silver lining. Think about it. Look at everything that's been taken away. Vanity is being taken away. Look, I'm scruffy. I'm crazy, many crazy right now. You know what I'm saying? Vanity is being taken away. There's been emphasis on going inside internally and finding yourself. There's people are finding out that they're creative. People are making videos. People are being, trying to find an entrepreneurial route or solutions to their problems. Sports is gone. It's not important. Car sales is down. Prostitution should be down. I hope so. Hope motherfuckers ain't fucking around with the Rona. Prostitution's down. Just every aspect that should have been stripped away a long time ago that's been getting out of control is leaving. And this is why I said what I said at the top of the video, man. This is spiritual. Who gives a fuck really about all this other shit other than we don't want to get sick and we don't really want our loved ones to pass away? But even that in itself is a very human way to think about things. You know what I'm saying? Even in death, this is almost a time of celebration because they don't have to be here no more. It's the caterpillar and the butterfly. What we're seeing right now is the cocoon. We're going through the cocoon and it's ugly. You know what I'm saying? But for those who can transition out of this peacefully without getting shot in the back of the head by a crooked pig, it's fucking bliss. Not to be promoting euthanasia, not to be promoting genocide or suicide, but yo, remember the ancient Egyptians, they talked about transitioning. So did the Mayans in a weird way. You know what I'm saying? They talked about transitioning to the next plane, to the next door. You know what I'm saying? We're just repeating history, but it just looks a little different. But yeah, man, it's almost a beautiful thing. And I'm about to go up against Goliath in this month. And things are about to get real interesting for me. So I don't know if I shot out Truth Tarot already. I think I did. But if I didn't, check out Truth Tarot. She's so accurate with her readings. Man. Whoa. Check her YouTube out, man. Real shit. Damn near scary. I damn near think she got a hidden camera in this motherfucker because she should know all this. For real. The divine feminine is upon us. Those who are heavily involved in greed are exposing themselves, corporations and your neighbors alike. People who have not found themselves They're looking like zombies. They're still stuck in old paradigms. They can't move forward. They still think that they're who they were 10 years ago. They don't understand that they've evolved. Their mental is stuck. Their soul is stuck. Today we outside this reality, space, and time. We're just witnessing how stupid we were before this experience. Damn, bro. That's real talk. I don't know if you go by Bleds or Bleeds, BLEDZ. Drop some heavy science. This reality is only a fragment of an infinite thought created by our master consciousness. Facts. This is truly like we living in Westworld. We could be living in Westworld, and that's even more scarier. That's what I'm saying. When I was doing my jog today, it just didn't seem real. It's like I was looking outside. I was outside of myself, looking at the whole thing, like in third person, like damn near out of body experience. To be honest with you, you know what I'm saying. But I want y'all to stay blessed, and I want y'all to fill your hearts with pure love. And love, at the end of the day, boils down to understanding. When you understand something, is the only way that you can truly love something, is when you understand it. So, understand yourself will equal understanding everything that you're observing, everything that you think you're seeing. Understanding yourself, you will see the walls of the illusion just fall. You know what I'm saying? When you start to understand yourself, you'll see where you'll see the reflections of yourself amongst the illusion once you start to understand yourself, and that ultimately means once you start to love yourself. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you chiming in for Paris? Salute, King. Salute. This is what I'm trying to tell y'all. My audience is pretty wide. So when they say that I only have 12,000 subscribers, I don't really believe that. I don't believe it. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that out of 12,000 people, only 30 are watching. I doubt out of 12,000 people, only 300 people watching my video. It just doesn't make sense. And I don't even think it's 12,000. All right. Peace, salute. I love y'all with all my heart. I understand y'all. I'm out.